Good afternoon, students. Last class we have to discuss regarding the types of efficiency, that is packing efficiency of different type of the solids, and also we discussed regarding the arrangement of the solids, the constant particles forming three type of the dimensions, 1D, 2D, and 3D. And 3D also involves two types, so that is one is SCP type of packing, another is your CCP type of packing. Besides that, also we discussed regarding how to find the density of solids, as well as also we discussed regarding our that is what we say density of the solids, as well as the coordination numbers, radius ratios, and voids. The voids are two types, you know that, tetrahedral voids and another is your octahedral voids. So today we have to discuss regarding the imperfection in the solids. Okay. So today's topic is imperfection in solids. Imperfection in solids, or we can say that is defect in the solids. Defect in the solids. So you see, what is meant by this term imperfections or defect? This is also, we can say also defect in the solids or imperfection in the solid. Imperfect, this means that is not perfect. So not perfect means what we have to understand here. You see, while the constant particles are arranged, they are arranged in a systematic manner, so that we will get the perfect crystals. But during the formation of the crystals or in the crystallization process, what happens? There is a very little time. Due to this little time, they have to adjust with themselves. Sometimes their structure is found to be disturbed. That means the constant particles, atoms or ions, they are not remains in a regular or systematic manner in their positions. As a result, there is a disturbance in the structures or regularity of the structures of the ionic solids or crystalline solids. So let us, you have done the experiments, that is crystallization, that is present in our class 2 syllabus. Crystallization of potassium, crystallization of copper sulfate. You will observe that whenever you make the solutions, filter the solution and put the filtrate that is contained in our China dish into Bunsen burner, what happens? When there is a last step to form the crystals, at that time you will see that the crystals will form at a single minute or at the last second, it is found to be formed at quickly. So what will happen actually? Actually in these cases, the crystals is found to be coagulate to each other and form the compounds. And at these points, they are not found to be regularly present in their respective positions. As a result, some dislocations or some distances or some irregularities is to be found. This type of irregularities that we have to observe in crystalline solids is nothing only we can say imperfection in solids or defect in solids. So now let us look here, sir. If you see this defect in solids, sir, this is basically we can divide into two types of the defects. These two types of defects, so we can say one is our point defect, and another is your line defect. So there are two types of defects we have to form in case of solids. Point defect, line defects. What is the difference between the point defect and line defects? As the name indicates points, points means particular points or particular places. When the defect is found to be raised or formed at a particular point or particular instance, then we can say that defect is your point defect. Okay. Like that, what is line defect? Line defect means this line defect when the crystals or the ions is found to be arranged, and while they are present in a systematic manner, at a particular places, it is found to be disturbed, it is found to be dislocated from the main positions. When it is dislocated from the main positions, then this type of defect is found to be formed, we can say line defect. So you can observe now point defect, line defect. Point defect, that is rises at a particular points or particular place, whereas the line defect, that is to be arranged on a particular line. Means let us look here, sir, the crystals are arranged just like this. So when the defect will form, see, look here, sir. In this picture, I have to show you how the point defect and line defect is found to be formed. If in this place, you can observe in this place, if the points are present if you get the defect at this point, particular points, then that we can say point defects. Or let us say we found these particular points, then that is we can say point defects. You see these points are our atoms or ions and they are present throughout the whole crystals. So if a particular places or particular points it is found in form, then that we can say point defect. But you see, if the defect is not at the point, let us look here, sir. A line will come in this crystalline solid from like this, and after this point, it is come to this and it is come to like this. So you can see that what will happens here. This line will come straight, it will come again bended, and it will again come to the straights. This type of defect, that is you can say line defects. Okay. So in the defector of the solids, you can say there is a point defect, line defect. Once again, you look here, sir. In the point defect and line defect, what will happen, sir? This point defect once again divided into three types. What are the three types? See, that is one is stoichiometric defect. Stoichiometric defect first, and second is non-stoichiometric defect. Non-stoichiometric defect. And third one is our impurity defect. Impurity defect. So you see, the point defect is mainly three types: stoichiometric defect, non-stoichiometric defect, line impurity defect. Similarly, line defect is two types. That is what we say edge dislocation, and screw dislocation. So you have to found there are two types of the defect you have to found. One is a point defect and another is your line defects. So the point defect is basically your three types: stoichiometry, non-stoichiometry, impurity. Line defect adds and screw dislocation. So at this point we have to give more stresses on the point defect because our syllabus does not cover about the line defect. Just I explain you the total category of defects or imperfect found whole type of the solids, but our syllabus concerns only with the point defects. So now you see this point defect are again classified in three types. That is stoichiometric defect, non-stoichiometric defect, and impurity defect. Now let us look here, sir. Because you see, always a question will come, sir, from defect in the solid. Generally, sometimes it will ask a question in your council examinations. Discuss the defect of a solid. Number one thing. Number two things. This is also very important because always in the competitive examinations, also we will get short questions, MCQ questions regarding from these sections. That's why it is very important, and it is also very easy topics. There is no difficult data. You will get the council as well as in the different competitive examinations objective question from these sections. So now you see in the point defects, it is basically three types: stoichiometry, non-stoichiometry, and impurity. First of all, we will come stoichiometry. You see, as the name indicates, stoichiometry. That means stoichiometry means what? The ratio remains same. That means here what will happen, sir? Why we have to form a ionic solids? What happens? There is a presence of cations and anions. Okay. So as the name indicates, stoichiometry, if the cation and anion ratio is found to be remain same, then that we can say stoichiometric defect. If the cation and anion ratio is not same, then that we can say non-stoichiometric defect. And you see the impurity defect is another type of defect. You see, first of all, stoichiometry, non-stoichiometry. Here the ratio between cation and anion remains same. Here the ratio between cation and anion does not same. And impurity defect, what will happen, sir? It is not related to cation and anion. As the name indicates, impurity, that means it is from impure. What happens? Let us, if we take some vegetable ghee, and from that ghee if we add some oils, then what will happen? Few oils is added in the ghee. That means the ghee is found to be impure. Okay, just like that, in impurity defect, a perfect crystal, whenever will be present some other thing except that crystal, then you can say that is impurity defects. So basically you see point defect will three types: stoichiometry, non-stoichiometry and impurity. Once again you see, if you come this point defect, they are again classified. Let us look here the stoichiometry defect. It is also divided into two types. One is Schottky defect and another is Frankel defect. Frankel defect. So stoichiometric defect once again divided into Schottky defect and Frankel defect. Just like that non-stoichiometric defect, you see in the beginning I told non-stoichiometric, there is no ratio of the cation and anion does not remain same. Okay, so cations, that is we can say metal cations or anions. So in non-stoichiometric defect, what will happen, sir? Either cation will be excess, anion will be less, or anion will be excess, cation will be less. So on that way we can divide it into also two types. One is metal excess defect, and another is metal deficiency defect. Okay, so now you see now stoichiometric category also you have to found two types: metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. So in metal excess defect, that also we can say that is due to extra cations or due to extra electrons. Two categories. Anyhow, our prime objective, we have to know the point defects, and in the point defects we have to see there are three types of defect: stoichiometry, non-stoichiometry, impurity. Okay, so basically stoichiometry, non-stoichiometry difference is due to imbalancing of cation and anions, excess or less. So we have to go in detail: Schottky defect, Frankel defect, metal excess, metal deficiency and impurity. And out of this, actually maximum time the questions examination you will ask the question from Schottky defect and Frankel defects. Okay, from the objective point of view and from the long question point of view, it is also one of our long questions. Discuss the different type of what is defect. First of all, what is defect in the solids? Discuss the different type of defect in the solids. Okay, so now we have to go regarding the stoichiometry two categories: Schottky, Frankel. Non-stoichiometry two category: metal excess, metal deficiency, and something less about impurity defect. And we did not discuss regarding line defect because it is not with our syllabus. Okay, let us look here. We have to discuss regarding stoichiometry defect. In stoichiometry defect, what happens? There is the ratio between the cations and anions remains the same. Okay, so in the stoichiometry defect, our first category we have to come regarding the Schottky defect. Okay, so it is once again two types. One is Schottky defect and another is Frankel defect. So let us look here. So in case of the Schottky defect, what will happen, sir? This defect is found to be erased. The basic difference. Why these are named so? Because these are two scientists who has been discovered all these concepts. So according to their names, it is given Schottky and Frankel defect. So let us look at Schottky defect. In Schottky defect, what will happen, sir? Regarding Schottky defect, you see already we have the metal cations and anions. Okay, to form the ionic solids. In case of Schottky defect, here one cation will leave its original place, as well as an anion also leaves its original places. So what will happen, sir? Same number of cations and anions has to be leaves from their places. Whenever the cation and anion same leaves, so what is the ratio remains at previously? The ratio remains same because the ratio of cation and anion remains fixed. Okay, by using. But what happens, sir? The volume is found to be increases, but the density is found to decreases. Okay. And the covalent character is also found to decreases because when the ions are displaced, their character covalency is found to also lessens. Okay. So in Schottky defect, what will happen? Equal number of cations as well as anions are missing from their original places. But it maintains the stoichiometric ratio. If you go regarding Frankel defect, here what will happen, sir? Here one cation will leaves its original places, okay, and it will remains somewhere inside the crystals. Okay, any interstitial space or any spaces or any voids, it is found to be remains. So when a cation is leaves its own places and present at anywhere, as a result, we have to found the Frankel defects. So Frankel defect is found to be observed when a cation lives in its own places and present in some interstitial spaces. So regarding the density, if you compare like the Schottky defect, here the density does not change. Why? Because what is the actual number of the cations or anions in the crystal, that is remain to same. Okay, that's why in case of the Frankel defect, the density remains same, but in case of the Schottky defect, the density is found to be decreased. Let us, I have to give you the picture, so you can clearly understood. Let us look here. It is a, we have to take a compound AB. AB is an ionic compound, and this AB compound, let us, we have to show how the Schottky defect we have to found and Frankel defect we have to found. A is a cation and B is a anion. They are held by a bonds, ionic bond, A plus B minus. Okay, so you see A plus B minus, that is B minus A plus B minus A plus. Okay, so let us look at this compound. In this compound, we have to observe that there is a cation A plus and anion B minus. Whenever we have to found the defect in these solids, that is your Frankel Schottky defect, what will happen, sir? One cation, let us say A, and one anion, let us say B. Okay, one cation and one anion is found to be leaving their places. So one cation leaves its places and another anion leaves its places. Okay, so as the result, we found here Schottky defect. So Schottky defect is found to be resulted due to loss of the cation and loss of the anion. So in the both cation and anions both are found to be leaving on their original places, then we have to found the Schottky defect. Just like the Schottky defect, if you come to the Frankel defect, what will happen? You see here, just like the previous cases, here also cations and anions is there. Cations and anions is there. These cations and anions, they are arranged let us look here, sir. Here what will happen, sir? Here one cation will replace, let us write this cation. This is replaces this position and it will come and present at any spaces. Okay? So as a result, sir, we have to found the Frankel defect. Okay? So let us look here, sir. In case of the Schottky defect, what happens, sir? A cation and anion, both of them are leaving their original places. Okay, one cation as well as one anion. But in case of the Frankel defect, what will happen, sir? In case of the Frankel defect, a cation, that is A plus, that is leaving its original site and it is present at the some interstitial space. So a question will come in our mind: why the cations will leave, whether the anions can leave or not? No, anions will not leave. Why? Because if you go regarding the size of cation and anions, a cation size is smaller than anion size. Just like a bus, some passenger is going on. Some are thin and some are thick passengers. Who can move through it? A thin passenger. Like the way, it is just like a bus. These are the passengers. So while they are displacing, what will happen? The small passenger of the small ion can easily replace than that of the bigger ion. That's why in case of this defect, always the cation is misplaces whereas the anion leaves its original positions. Okay. So this defect, whether we can say Scotty defect or you can say Frankel defect, both defect belong to stoichiometric type. Okay, because in both the cases the cation and anions remains same. What is the difference? Basic difference, here the number of cations and number of anions remains same, but here the number of cations and anions also remains same, but here two ions are displaced, removed, missed, but here the cation changes its position from its original position to some elsewhere. As a result, here the density is found to remain same, whereas here the density what happens decreases. That's why you can see this type of defect, Scotty defect, generally we have to see those compounds which have the high coordination number, but these are able to see the compound bearing low coordination number. Okay, so that is all what we say the stoichiometric defect and the type of the stoichiometric defect, that is Scotty defect and Frankel defect. Okay, next we have to go regarding non-stoichiometric defect. Now we have to come. So we discussed regarding the stoichiometric defect, that is Scotty and Frankel. Next we have to come non-stoichiometric defect. So let us look here, sir. In case of this non-stoichiometric defect, what happens, sir? Here we can observe the two type of defect also. Non-stoichiometry means what it indicates? Non-ratio. Ratio is not remain same. If we take the cations and anions, their ratio does not remain same. That means whether the cation will be excess or the anion will be excess. So here we can take one common point, metal atom. So metal atom, we can say metal excess defect or metal deficiency defect. Metal excess means positive charge will be more, negative will be less. Similarly, metal deficiency defect means cation will be less and anion will be more. So either way, we can express the non-stoichiometric defect in the form of metal ions. Okay. So whenever we have to express in terms of the metal ions, this defect we have to say two types. That is, one is we can say metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. So we have to found here deficiency defect. Here we have to found here the non-stoichiometric defect are found to be two types: metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. So let us say first of all we have to go metal excess defect. So in the category of metal excess defect, the metal is found to be present excess. Okay. So you see here the name indicates non-stoichiometric defect. So here what happens, the ratio of cations and anions does not remain same, or metal cations or anions does not remain same. Hence what will happen in this type of defect, generally those metal atoms which shows the variable valency, they are found to be exist. For example, we say this non-stoichiometric defect we have to found of iron oxides, iron sulfides, zinc oxides. Just like these compounds, those are found to be so also, that is the variable valency. They has to exist non-stoichiometric defect. So in case of a metal excess defect, it can be also arises by two ways or two processes. One is by presence of extra cations occupying interstitial sites, by extra cations occupying interstitial sites, extra cations occupying inter. Now we have to see it is non-stoichiometric defect. It is two types, that is metal excess defect, metal deficiency defect. In metal excess defect, that is once again formed by two ways. So one is extra cation occupying the space, extra cations occupying the spaces, and second is due to anionic vacancy. So now you see, in case of a metal excess defect, it can be raised due to two ways. First is extra cations occupying the spaces. Second is your anionic vacancies. So what is mean by extra cations occupying the spaces? What will happen? Actually, in these solids, in this defect, what happens? There is a equal number of cations and anions. Besides the cations and anions, some extra cation is there in a interstitial positions, and to balance the charge of the extra cations, electron is also present at somewhere. So you can see that here what we say, the extra cations, they are present in one places in interstitial positions, and anions are also present in another spaces. For example, let us look here. If we make the diagram of this type of defect, let us look here. The cation A plus and B minus. You see, it will continue just like earlier. So what will happen here? The cations and anions, what we get here? See, look here, sir. In case of this extra cations occupying the space, what will happen? A cation has to be present in a interstitial positions. That is the empty spaces. And to balance the charge of the atoms, electron is also present somewhere else. So what will happen? The cations and anions, here you look here, sir. The cation A plus is found to be excess. That is the metal atoms. So metal atom is found to be excess. Okay. And at the same time, sir, the charge, what is the number of positive charge? That is equal to the number of negative charge, and the negative charge is maintained by also electrons. So this type of defect, just like the Scott-Frenkel defect type, just we can say it is belonging to Frenkel defect type. Okay. What happens? Just like Frenkel defect, what happens? A cation moves and occupies somewhere else places. Here just like this. Okay. So this is the extra cation occupying the space. And another category of metal excess defect, we can say anionic vacancy. So anionic vacancy, what will happen? So in an ionic compounds, an anion is found to be replaced or moved, and in that place only electron is substituted, electron is remained, so that we will get the anionic vacancy. For example, let us look here. So in the same diagrams I have explained you. You see, this is the ionic compound AB. In this ionic compound, presently there is equal number of positive ions and negative ions. What happens actually? Let us see this B minus, which has to be replaced. This anion will leave, only electron will be present. So what will happen, sir? The positive and negative charge is found to be remain same. But if you consider regarding cation and anions, there is more cation and less anion. So anion is found to be less. So you can see the metal excess defect can be raised by two ways. Either extra cations occupying some interstitial spaces, otherwise an anionic vacancy, or some anions, negative ions is found to be replaced. Only electron is there to occupy those spaces. Then also the metal excess defect is to be found. Now one thing you see, in the first category, some example I have to say you. Let us use to heat the zinc oxide metal. If you heat zinc oxide metal, what happens? Its electron has to be removed, and zinc metal will remains as in the interstitial spaces, so that you will get the extra cation occupying space type of the defect. And in anionic type of defect, what will happen? If you heat a compound of sodium chloride, then the yellow color is found to be liberated, and this yellow color is due to these extra electrons present in the centers. So this is since a color is produced in our anionic vacancy, so it is known as also F center. F is a Latin word. F means fiber. It is derived. Fiber means color producing. Okay. So those compounds, those are the anionic vacancies. They are found to be forming the colors. Okay. That is all about the anionic vacancies. So students, you see, in non-stoichiometric category, we have the two types: metal excess, metal deficiency. Now we have to cover metal excess defect. Next we have to go metal deficiency defect. So let us look here, sir. In case of metal deficiency defect, means what happens? So there is a shortage of the metal atoms. Okay. So when there is a shortage of metal atoms, that you can say metal deficiency defect. So in metal deficiency defect, metal atom is found to be less, whereas the other category, the anion, is found to be more. That's why it is known as metal deficiency defect. Let us look at, you have to come this compound, same compounds. In this compound, if you found our our metal deficiency defect, you see what happens. One cation will leave on its place, and that cation will replaces, it is remains void, and it will become the charge too. So what will happen, sir? The charge is found to be remain same because it is transferred from these places to another places, sir. But what happens, sir? The metal atom is found to be less than. Hence, this type of defect we have to found, that is, we can say metal deficiency defect. So now you see in non-stoichiometric category we have to see two type defect: metal excess, metal deficiency. So see, total classification from the beginning I told you it is three types: stoichiometric, non-stoichiometric, and your impurity defect. So the third category that we will discuss, impurity defect. It is a very simple defect. Impure means whenever we have taken ionic compounds, so there is an arrangement of the cations and anions, and in this arrangement, whenever there is a more or less presence of the cations or some one other foreign category, foreign cations, outside cation is found to be placed or present in the original cation category, then that we have to say our metal deficiency defect. So in this metal deficiency defect, let us you take a crystal of NaCl. In the crystal of NaCl, what happens? There is a presence of Na and Cl, sodium and chlorine. Okay. So in the sodium chlorides, Na plus Cl minus, Na plus Cl minus. Okay, this is surrounded by the whole structures. So what will happen, sir? In these structures, what happens? Basically, these cations is to be replaced by some other cations. Let us say it is mixed with the crystal of strontium chloride SrCl2. Then what will happen, sir? Ions of Sr has to be replaced with some places. Let us it is replaced by strontium ion. So you see, this is a pure compound of NaCl. In this pure compound of NaCl, one Na plus is replaced by the strontium ion. When there is a replacement of sodium ion by strontium ion, then this type of defect is found to be observed. Hence, this is known as or impurity defects. Okay, this is all about the defect or imperfection in the solids. Okay.